Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the hopefully elect. This is Brother Araki checking in. And this will be on the location, short camp, ALHAMBRA, Granada, which is the last resort or the last stronghold of the Moors that King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella took down. So it's the last stronghold of the Moors here in Europe. Okay, so I'm in Granada, Spain, and the name of this fortress is Alhambra. Okay, so I've done the tour, amidst the tour, visiting the Nasrid palaces. You know, it's really nice over here, man. And you know, the Moors, they are all people. They are Hebrew Israelites, man, who went into that confusion of Islam, but they still are people, man. It's part of our history, okay? And this place, it started what do you call it? The little season that Revelation chapter 20 speaks about, okay? So earlier during my trip here in Andalusia, southern Spain, I already went to, in Malaga, I went to see the Alcazaba over there, you know, which also is a Moorish fortress, okay, also with a castle of Gibraltar, if I remember the name correctly, and I made a lesson of that, okay. But yeah, let me open up the camp, and you know, behind me is just some random part of this fortress. You know, this is not the main part at all, but it is too crowded at the main entry, or it's very crowded over there. And also, this place is you know, it's quite calm, you know, and also a good place because I can put the phone in the shade so that the overheat, because it be hot over here. Now it's like over 30 Celsius, something like 32, 33 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what's that in Fahrenheit, but you know, you can do the conversion. Okay, so let me kick off. Khan. And Khan, I don't have my garment or anything, you know, this just, you know, visiting on location, man. Okay, so this is just a quick camp lesson, man. Okay? So Khan, let me go without further ado. Give me a moment. Let me go read about it first. Then I'm gonna get the scriptures as well. Okay. But let me first read about it just in the Wikipedia. Okay, because in the 1490s, you know, in the 1480s, 1490s, you had, you know, King Ferdinand, Queen Isabella, you know, making that union, okay, uniting the Castile and Aragon. So they got a massive power grab in Spain and got done away with the Moors, okay? You cannot go into, well, it's very hard for you to go into Revelation chapter 20 when it speaks about the little season without mentioning Renaissance and also without mentioning King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. Okay, Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile, okay? Let me see, so I'm gonna go back to that. Okay, so this from Wikipedia, Alhambra, it says, and this is gonna be just a short camp, you know, or short lesson, you know, on location pretty much. This place is massive, man. You know, I started the tour in the Nasrid palaces, about 1 hour ago, and non-stop you see different places, man. And I took videos of the inside of the palaces and stuff. So I'm also gonna make a video of that in itself. But yeah, the Alhambra Spanish, Alhambra Arabic, Alhambra is a palatine city and fortress complex located in Granada, Spain. It is one of the most famous monuments of Islamic architecture and the only well-preserved palace from the medieval Islamic world. Additionally, the palace contains notable examples of Spanish Renaissance architecture. Okay, because, like I said, you know, during the time of Renaissance, you had King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella take hold of this place, and they converted to that plantation Christianity. All the people that stayed, all the Moors that stayed here, okay, by the threat of death, okay. And then, you know, at the same year, 1492, you had Christopher Colon, you know, traveling out to the Americas, okay? So you can see what started at that point. Okay, it is one of, additionally, the palace contains notable examples of Spanish Renaissance architecture, okay? You see? And this place is high up, man. Like I was just showing you, you can see of other parts of the city, okay? Of different parts of the palaces, you know, when there's these little bridges, so to speak, you can see other parts of the city. It's very high. You know, even when you walk here, you have to climb up. It's a good climb up. If you're not in a good condition, you're gonna be out of breath and sweating. You know, myself, I was a little bit, you know, what it's called, in a hurry, because the Nasrid Palace's entries are time-based. So for me, I had the entry time of 2 p.m. So, you know, I didn't want to miss it, because then I don't know if I would have got in here, you know. And you know, it's free to be on the outside and on the main area, so to speak. But if you want to visit, you know, the insides and the Nasrid palaces, you have to pay 21 euros, which I think is very reasonable. I don't think it's bad at all. Or something like 22 euros, okay? Which is what, something like $25, so I don't think it's bad at all. Okay, the building of the complex began in 1238, okay? At that point, Esau was up in the caves. You know, as in the book of Job, it says, the basest of men, okay? They were over there grunting, woof, 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 you know, on all fours, you know, eating human feces, you know, behaving like total animals, man. And the Most High can do it. He even did it to the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. He became like a beast, okay? And right now, you have the basest of men ruling this place, man. And there's one chamber or one part of this this Alhambra, you know, of the Nasrid palaces, where you have actually prison cells, you know, rooms that they look like prison cells. So that's gonna also be included in the video, separate video that I'm gonna be making of this place. But there, you know, what came to my mind is the future captivity of Esau. Okay. So yeah, at this point, let me get some scriptures, man. No. So lucky at the basest of men, that's in Daniel actually, Daniel 4:17. But I know in Job it also speaks, you know, of that fashion that these are base men, not these Edomites. Daniel 4:17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones. The intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will and set it up over it the basest of men. okay, which been going over since Renaissance, which you can say it began even earlier, you know, something like 1300s, 1400s. But these things are gradual, you know. These things are gradual, okay. Doesn't happen in a day. And also one thing, when the scriptures, the Bible speaks about different years, okay, different year marks. For example, that Esau was 1,000 years, okay, shut up in the bottomless pit. Yeah, it's round about 325 to the 1300s, but it's round about. It's not exactly 325 to 1325, okay? The scriptures, you know, the times are often loose, because you have to remember that, you know, what for us, okay, is 1,000 years, to the Most High is one day, okay? So it's different, man. Job 30 and 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were wiser than the earth. And now, verse 9, and now I am their son, yea, I am their byword. So here it is, man, we got Esau fucking ruling, looking down on us tribes, man. So-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native and Seminole Indians, okay? Just everything being fucking upside down, man. See, I can even feel my phone overheating, man. It's hot. It's hot over here, man. See, I have to cover my phone because it may bug out in a moment, man. So this place is not our rest, man. Waiting for Yahushua to return, set up the kingdom of Israel. Right now we're in the Edomite rulership. This fucking sucks, man. And why again? This is a very spiritual spot. This ALHAMBRA, which Kalharal Yahushua had the opportunity to arrive here. Okay, and everything went very smooth with the tickets and everything, because I'm in a whole other city, okay, in Malaga, or in Torremolinos to be exact. But I'm very glad I came here. This is a spiritual place, man. You can sense it, okay. You can sense this is very carefully constructed place, man. And as you could say that, you know, the 1942, that was a very concrete marking point of Esau's, you know, power being extended, or their power being concretized, you know. It was a very concrete example of their power being established at this place, Alhambra, and the city of Granada as a whole. They mark that beginning of their little season. But right now, the little season is just coming to an end, man. So that's why it's very spiritual. It's a full cycle. And we hopefully, elect of the Hebrew Israelites, we cannot wait for that, man. Okay, we cannot wait. Okay, the building of the complex began in 1238 CE by Muhammad I Ibn al-Ahmar, the first Nasrid emir and founder of the Emirate of Granada. The last Muslim state of Al-Andalus, okay? It was the last one to stay in power. Okay, before Esau Edom did its thing, or did their thing. It was built on Sabika Hill, an outcrop of the Sierra Nevada, which had been the site of earlier fortresses and of the 11th century palace of Samuel ibn Nagrillah. Later Nasrid rulers continuously modified the site. The most significant construction campaigns, which gave the royal palaces much of their defining character, took place in the 14th century, okay, which means 1300s, okay. During the reign of Yusuf I and Muhammad V. After the conclusion of the Christian Reconquista in 1492, the site became the royal court of Ferdinand and Isabella, where Christopher Columbus received royal endorsement for his expedition. So this became the royal court of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. This is why you can sense here. Nowadays people speak about aura, okay, to vibe the frequency of this place. But you can sense that this been a major place, man. Okay. Even today is, it's a super popular place. Even today, how many visitors and tourists I saw here from all over the world, different parts. This place is very popular, man, still. This is funny, I just saw some Edomites putting sunscreen because they're burning. But at the same time, I cannot blame them because this is hot. It's hot. I take from Finland, so I've normally been used to this plus 30 degrees Celsius, man. Which I think right about now is something like 33. Let me see how much that is. Not on no Freemasonic shit, but let me just see how much is 33 degrees Celsius. How much is that in Fahrenheit? Because it's hot. I was thinking of putting shorts, but I know for the camp it's not super appropriate. It's 91 Fahrenheit. And this is inland, so there is not sea. There is not the sea over here, which would you bring the wind and certain freshness. This place is inland, okay? So it's just packed with fucking heat, man. You see? But let me read some more Slovakia for that. After the conclusion of the Christian Reconquista in 1942, the site became the royal court of Ferdinand and Isabella, where Christopher Columbus received royal endorsement for his expedition. And the palaces were partially altered in 1526. Charles V commissioned a new Renaissance-style palace in direct juxtaposition with the Nasrid palaces, which, let me look that word up, juxtaposition, J-U-X-T-A, position, which of course, with that also goes into, in a way, that goes into iconoclasm, okay, of taking down images and putting up new ones. That's what Esau do, put up that Edomite style, man. Whitewashing everything, chopping the noses of the old statues. Okay, juxtaposition is a placing or being placed in nearness or contiguity or side by side. The nearness of objects with no delimiter. The extra emphasis given to a comparison when the contrasted objects are close together. Okay? So in 1526, Charles V commissioned a new Renaissance-style palace in direct juxtaposition with the Nasrid palaces, so just next to the Nasrid palaces. The Alhambra fell into disrepair over the following centuries, with its buildings occupied by squatters. The troops of Napoleon destroyed parts of it in 1812. After this, the Alhambra became an attraction for British, American, other European romantic travelers. The most influential of them was Washington Irving, whose Tales of the Alhambra 1832 brought international attention to the site. Okay? The Alhambra was one of the first Islamic monuments to become the object of modern scientific study and has been the subject of numerous restorations since the 19th century. It is now one of Spain's major tourist attractions and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay? Which is, true the spirit, because when I came in here to Malaga, Spain for a holiday, I didn't even think of coming here, to be honest, man. This place didn't even cross my mind, but then when I was looking at things to do in Malaga and it showed, the local castles and fortresses and whatnot, and then I was with ChatGPT, and then it somehow led my attention to Alhambra, this place in Granada, which is only with train, it was only 1 hour and 20 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it's very reasonable journey from Malaga, It's not bad at all. Okay, let me read the rest of this. Okay, it said, during the Nasrid era, the Alhambra was a self-contained city separate from the rest of Granada below. It contained most of the amenities of a Muslim city, such as Friday Mosque, Hamas, which is public bath, roads, houses, artisan workshop, a tannery, and a sophisticated water supply system. This place is grand. This place is huge, man. This place is huge. Like I said, I was walking, before I came here, stopped to do this camp on location. I was walking for around 1 hour, man. Of course, not walking at the same time, I was taking pictures and videos and stuff. But this place is big. As a royal city and citadel, it contained at least 6 major palaces, most of them located along the northern edge where they commanded views over the Al-Baisin quarter. The most famous and best preserved are the Mexuar, the Comores Palace, the Palace of the Lions, okay, which I took videos of that. You have, how do you fucking say it in English? Or in any language, man. Well, anyway, you have a fountain, yeah, you have a fountain. There's, like a big vase, big vessel, and then you have lions around it. From their mouth, the water comes out. And the Partil Palace, which formed the main attraction to visitors today. The other palaces are known from historical sources and from modern excavation. At the Alhambra's western tip is the Alcazaba fortress. Multiple smaller towers and fortified gates are also located along the Alhambra's walls, which this is a great strategic location because it's on high. So you can see the enemies if they're coming in, so you'll be able to blow the trumpet to ready the troops, okay? To ready the civilians to take shelters and to ready the troops for war. Outside the Alhambra walls and located nearby to the east is the General Life, a former Nasrid country estate and a summer palace accompanied by historic orchards and a modern landscaped gardens. So let me open that up. I might be there right now. No, I don't think I seen that yet. Yeah, doesn't look familiar. So I think I still have to see that one, the General Life, if I have the time, because my train is leaving in like 3 hours, and I still have to walk all the way down to the train station, which, to be honest, is going to take something like 30 minutes. The architecture of the Nasrid palaces reflects the tradition of Moorish architecture developed over previous centuries. It is characterized by the use of the courtyard as a central space and basic unit around which other halls and rooms were organized. Courtyards typically had water features at their center, such as reflective pool or a fountain, okay, which that the Palace of the Lions, that's exactly what you have, okay, fountain with with the lions, man. Okay. Which, to be honest, they don't look that much like lions to me. Decoration was focused on the inside of the building and was executed primarily with the tile mosaic on lower walls and carved stucco on the upper walls. Geometric patterns, vegetable motifs, and Arabic inscriptions were the main types of decorative motifs. Additionally, stalactite-like sculpting known as mugarnas was used for three-dimensional features like vaulted ceilings. Now let me go to the part of history. Let me go to the point of the beginning of the Esau's concrete rule, okay? Or complete rule, let me put it that way. And then I'm gonna get the scripture of Revelation chapter 20. Then that's gonna be it, okay? Like I said, it's just a short camp on location. I was aiming for 30 minutes, you know. Okay, Reconquista and Christian Spanish period. The last Nasrid Sultan Muhammad XI of Granada surrendered the Emirate of Granada in January 1942 without the Alhambra itself being attacked. When the forces of the Catholic monarchs King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella I of Castile took the surrounding territory with a force of overwhelming numbers, Muhammad XI moves the remains of his ancestors from the complex, as was verified by Leopoldo Torres Balvas in 1925 when he found 70 empty tombs. The remains are now likely to be located in Mondujar in the Principality of Lecrin. After the conquest, the Alhambra became a royal palace and a property of the Spanish crown. Isabella and Ferdinand initially took up residence here and stayed in Granada for several months up until 25th of May 1942. So they was living here for months. So I cannot blame them because this is a nice place, man. I wouldn't mind. Well, actually, I wouldn't mind living here because I want the Habashite to arrive and, live in the kingdom of Yasharala. But, just speaking as a man, it's a nice place, man. It was during this day that two major events happened. On 31st March, the monarch signed the Alhambra decree, which also ordered the expulsion of all Jews in Spain who refused to convert. Christopher Columbus, who had also been present to witness the surrender of Granada, presented his plans for an expedition across the Atlantic to the monarchs in the Hall of Ambassadors, and on 17 April they signed the contract which set the terms of the expedition, which landed in the Americas later that year. You see? And you have that movie 1942. And by the way, in that movie they mentioned 2nd Ezra, because through 2nd Ezra they knew that the lost tribes of Israel were in Americas. So we are the people, bro. The Latinos, the Native and Seminole Indians, they are the 10 lost tribes, which actually is 9 tribes because Dan is not mentioned in the book of Revelation anymore, the tribe of Dan. The new Christian rulers began to make additions and alterations to the palace complex. The governorship of the Alhambra was entrusted to the Tendilla family, who were given one of the Nasrid palaces, the Palacio del Partal Alto, near the Partal Palace, to use as a family residence. Inigo Lopez de Mendoza y Quiñones died 1515. The second Count of Tendilla was present in Ferdinand II's entourage when Muhammad XI surrendered the keys to the Alhambra, and he became the Alhambra's first Spanish governor. For almost 24 years after the conquest, he made repairs and modifications to his fortifications, that Renaissance look, man, in order to better protect it against gunpowder artillery attacks. Multiple towers and fortifications such as Torre de Siete Suelos, the Torre de las Cabezas, and the Torres Bermejas were built or reinforced in this period as seen by the addition of semi-round bastions. In 1512 the count was also awarded the property of Mondéjar and subsequently passed on the title of Marquis of Mondéjar to his descendants. Charles V, right, in the 1500s visited the Alhambra in 1526 with his wife Isabella of Portugal and decided to convert it into a royal residence of his use. He rebuilt or modified portions of the now street palaces to serve as royal apartments, a process which began in 1528 and was completed in 1537. He also demolished a part, so now what you see also in here is Renaissance art being mixed in with this place, man. He also demolished part of the Commerce Palace to make way for a monumental new palace known as the Palace of Charles V, designed in the Renaissance style of the period. You see, construction of the palace began in 1527, but it was eventually left unfinished after 1637. The governorship of the Mendia-Mondéjar family came to an end in 1717-1718 when Philip V confiscated the family's properties in the Alhambra and dismissed the Marquis of Mondéjar, José de Mendoza Ibáñez de Segovia, which I'm not sure if I even have to read all this, man. Okay, let me jump down to this. This is the last portion. Over subsequent years, the Alhambra was further damaged. Between 1810 and 1812, Granada was occupied by Napoleon's army during the Peninsular War. The French troops under the command of Count Sebastiani occupied the Alhambra as a fortified position and caused significant damage to the monument. Upon evacuating the city, they attempted to dynamite the whole complex to prevent it from being reused as a fortified position. They successfully blew up 8 towers before the remaining fuses were disabled by Spanish soldier Jose Garcia, whose actions saved what remains today. Okay? Damn, that's an interesting bit of history. In 1821, an earthquake caused further damage. In the early 19th century, the site was described as being occupied by prisoners, disabled soldiers, and other marginalized people. Okay, so let me jump down to, or let me get Revelation 20. Okay, I'm about to close it out, man. I can feel my phone in my hand, man, turning to a fucking hot stone, man. Revelation 20:1, and I saw an angel come down from heaven having the keys of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand, which is going to Europe, the bottomless pit. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, which his physical counterpart is Esau, Edom. And that began, like I was saying, when the Edomite Rome fell. Okay, really, Nerva was the first Jake emperor, but let's just say 325 officially. So from that round about 1,000 years, and when it came back to life, that little season, 1300s, 1400s, but especially the late 1400s, 1492. It's a major year. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more, because that's what the Edomites do. Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So I was just watching a video of the history, so when King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella was taking this place down, they were saying that they just, give us this place, you people can keep up with your religions and your customs and stuff like that. But when they got this place and they got the power, they converted all the people to plantation Christianity under the threat of dying. So they deceiving the nations. So that's when the little season began. And now, from that moment on, it's over 500 years, man. And the little season is just about coming to an end. Verse 4, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua. Okay, which you're going to have martyrs in this truth in these times. They're going to choose Yahushua over the microchip, Karagma. We're not going to take the RFID. Okay? As hopefully elect, we want to ride and die for this truth, man, until the end, no matter what happens. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. and they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years, which is not the same 1,000 years as in the second verse, because that 1,000 years with Yahushua is going into kingdom when Yahushua arrives. The first 1,000 years we're going to have the Edomites in captivity, other nations in captivity. After that, Edomites are going to get Job 1:18, and the other nations, they're going to receive more freedoms, but still going to be under us. So Lord willing, this short camp on a location, ALHAMBRA, Granada, last stronghold of the Moors in Europe. Yahweh Tasatis was edifying and closing. I want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor too. Let me actually pick up the thing. Yeah. So you can see, man, this place is nice. Yeah, man. And this not, you can see this place is on high. You can see of the city, but this is not even the highest place. There's other places with much better views. But yeah, Khan, in closing, I want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Chakadash. Double honor to elders and pastors of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. On to the next one, Shalom.